Why don't you have her arrested?
They can't arrest her.
Why not?
She's destroyed my stuff before, because all of my stuff has been destroyed. Probably bought my wardrobe maybe 2 or 3 times already.
Like, I don't want to play God with my child. You know, I don't want to. But also sometimes it feels like you do have to provide. I don't know. You know what I mean?
All right. So do the prayer. Don't have me to come to Michigan.
I just love you. You might have met your right woman if you come.
Amazing. Nathaniel, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
I'm on the Justin Lee Peterson show. What the?
Welcome.
I just want to give you all a shout out. You know, the Bond Network. All of you have, you know, you're sacrificing waking up 3 or 4 in the morning, and you guys are giving an awesome word and knowledge and experience. And for all the listeners, you know, if you can, you know, buy them a coffee, from the Hake Show to all their shows. But if you're spending all your money on fentanyl and spending all your money on pot, then just leave a like and you know, subscribe.
Thank you.
But I wanted to answer the biblical question, and that'll lead me to what I need to get off my chest.
What is the boomerang in your life?
It's my ex-wife. I'm trying to leave her, and she won't leave me. And I feel like I'm in the same situation of your second caller.
Cam.
I'm trying to move out, but she's very persistent, and I could see the hell. You know, I feel like you're speaking to all of us, but I promise you, the past 2 weeks of you know, talking about women and how they're destroying our lives because it's through hell, you know, I'm seeing it clearly, and my ex is not. And I'm in this pickle, and that's why I'm calling you, is we have the lease together, and my only options is to terminate the lease or find myself my own place and then take care of both. Because the only unfortunate thing is her finances can't take care of the rest of the rent, and I just need to get out of this situation.
So you said you can cancel the lease?
I can terminate it, which I'm not sure if that'll be an issue with my credit or me moving into my next place. But I'm losing sleep, and it's just living hell. I'm literally in the shadow of darkness right now.
So you can go to the owner and say, I want to terminate this lease, and they would say okay, and you would be and they would be fine with that without messing with your credit.
That's the one thing I need to figure out. But it's more of just like I know there's going to be fees and all that stuff. And I'm even to the point where I'll terminate it and then redo the lease myself.
Can you hold for a minute?
Absolutely.
All right, hold on. Nathaniel, thank you for holding. Let me ask, if you went to the owner of the building and say, my wife and I are divorcing, I would like to terminate the lease, what would happen, you think?
I think it would just be the process of them letting me know that they would need to be it ahead of time, so probably going to need like a 30-day notice. So that's going to be even more rough. And then explaining to me that they're going to have to find someone to take over my lease for the rest of the term, which I'm willing to do. Like I mentioned before, I'm willing to pay for it. But it's come to the point, you know, I'll just give you a quick story. I know you got other calls and very important stuff to tell us, but you know, I called the cops on her 3 times because she doesn't leave me alone. You know, I wish I lived in the 1900s because her nagging at me, I wish she would just get arrested for nagging me, because it's just an awful relationship, and she's not seeing clearly.
Why don't
She'll
you
leave
have
for
her
a day.
arrested?
I'm sorry?
Why don't you have her arrested?
They can't arrest her.
Why not?
She's destroyed my stuff before. Like I've literally, if it wasn't for, you know, the income that I make, I would probably be homeless and just have a car, because all of my stuff has been destroyed. Probably bought my wardrobe maybe 2 or 3 times already. They've told me that they would arrest her, and I'm not going to say what she said to them on YouTube, but She said the S word and the R word.
Right.
And they knew she was crazy because I called the cops on her 2 times already. They're just like, she's delusional, but they can't arrest her because she's not abusing me, and I show no sign of abuse. It's just
But
That's
she's
just
mentally
communication.
abused. You know how the women cry, he mentally abused me. Why don't you cry mental abuse?
Because I'm not a beta.
No, you got to be wise.
I agree.
So cry mental abuse.
I should. And
You should.
I can't do a non-contact because we have a lease together.
So why don't you cry mental abuse? Because that's what the women use. You can use the same law.
Yeah. And it's crazy, too, because her parents know everything. And your first caller is delusional because her mom is, like, almost supporting her to keep her with me when I've made it very clear. Like, it's like they think I'm speaking a different language. I'm telling them clearly that I need to leave this relationship. And I don't know if it's a culture thing. And I called you before, but you're black and you probably don't remember.
You bet.
But my spouse is Albanian, and their culture is we stick together even through the thin. But I can't. I can't have my kids turn on me. And luckily we're not legally married because this would just be an outright mess.
And you have children with her?
No, thank God.
Good. So let me ask, why don't you go to the owner of the building and tell them your situation and that you need to terminate the lease, and don't assume the outcome. Have a wait and see.
Yeah.
Have a wait and see.
Yeah, I need to stop assuming and just do it.
Yeah, do it. See what happens. Because the mind is always lying to you about anything, and it could be giving you a false outcome.
Right.
I used to lease, so I know how the leasing rules are. But you just never know; it may work out differently for you. I would go and do it and see what happens, and then you will see the next thing to do and the next thing to do.
Amazing. Absolutely. I'll do that today and follow up with you on Monday or Tuesday.
All right, let me know how it goes. And
All right, thank you, Jesse. Have a good weekend.
And the next time you have to call the cop, just say, this woman mentally abused me, verbally abused, emotionally abused. Use those words, because that's what the women use on the men.
100%. Absolutely.
All right, so don't think you're being beta. You're fighting for your life.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too. When I called them the third time, and for her to say those words, like, oh, he did this to me, like, if I didn't have a wake-up call the first few times, It was definitely this time, like, run.
Yeah. All right, but let me know how it goes.
Have a good day. Thank you.
You too. Amazing. Megan, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I had a question I wanted to ask you about. Thanks. I was hoping you'd say that. About your understanding of sin, what it is, if it exists. I know that this isn't Bible Thump for Thursday, but just in general, I've been listening to you for a few months, and the way you state things and understand things so simply, I feel like it could help me see. So
sin is of the heart, and anyone that has anger has hatred of the heart, and anyone that has hatred is playing God, and you've been turned away from God. And as long as you play God, you will never know God. And so when you realize you have this anger in the heart and you go and forgive, the heart will change. He would take the anger away from you and turn you back and give you his heart, a heart made of love instead of stone. And then he will start to get rid of all your vices, because that's the nature of evil. It was never yours. And you'll be able to keep the 10 Commandments.
Okay, so I hear you saying just ultimately there is kind of only one sin?
Yes.
Okay.
And that
it's
is
just judgment,
yes,
hate, and playing God.
100%. Anyone that judge is playing God. Anyone that has anger is playing God. Anyone that blame anyone else for the way they feel is playing God. Anyone that has guilt is playing God. Anyone that don't love their fellow man as God loved them is playing God. Anyone that make decisions, except practical decisions, is playing God. Anyone that think that they can change their own life, their own nature, the old nature to the new nature, is playing God.
Okay. I guess it's, get it off your chest. I am a mom, and one of the things I realized that I didn't know was a problem I had before I had kids, or a kid, is, I never liked telling anybody what to do. I don't like being in charge of people. I give me anxiety. And as a mother, you do have to kind of, have rules for your children or expectations and things. And sometimes I feel a little off, like I don't want to play God with my child. I don't want to, but also sometimes it feels like you do have to provide, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like some kind of like, oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, I don't know. So is there any advice as far as how you would, because I hear you have like 6 kids adopted and like or 1 kid. I don't know. I like hearing about how you parented and stuff.
Number one, I know when you said I'm a mom, I want you to start. Mom just sounds so holy instead of mother, right? But
right, mother.
The next time you speak that I'm a mom, I want you to speak it consciously instead of unconsciously, because you're not a mom. That is what you do, but that's not who you are.
Okay.
And that way you don't get a thrill from it when you say it. We got to communicate, so we got to use words, right? But don't say it where you get a thrill from it, because it's not who you are at all. And that way you don't identify as a mother. Number 2, what type of expectation you have? You have kids or a kid?
One child.
How old is he or she?
It's a girl. She's 10.
What kind of expectation you have for a 10-year-old child?
That's a good question. Well, I guess just like when I ask you to brush your teeth and, little things like sometimes she has things she talks to me about at school, like problems she had with others. She looks for me for advice and guidance and stuff, and I guess my expectations should be pretty low.
You should have no expectation from her at all. And I promise you, if you didn't have any expectation, you shouldn't even have any expectation for yourself. And I promise you, if you didn't have any expectation, you would never have to yell at her. You would never be impatient with her or yourself. You would just live life, and life will happen, and you'll be fine, and she'll be fine. Expectation is playing God.
Right. With the parenting, it really has confused me in the past because, I guess I was raised, and like a lot of us, like when you're a parent, you need your kids to do certain things so you can do your things. Like, oh, I got to go to work, so we have to get up at this time. I need you to, or just whatever it is. I feel like life really gets in the way of how I would like to be towards her.
It does. Don't live life the way the world have taught you. They have taught you wrong. And it didn't work for them, it's not working for them, and it's not going to work for you. You got to turn away from the world and live from inwardly, and then you're living in a real reality, a new world, a new order, and things will work out fine. You're not going to make it if you live the way the world have taught you. That's why we have a mess
I'm just kind of I'm just kind of noticing that's something like, oh wait, that's something that I was probably taught and is probably wrong. So I'm trying to find my way out of it. As far as
I can't tell you how wrong we've been taught about life. And that's why we're not supposed to teach. We're supposed to be a living example. And the light will draw will draw your kids and your friends and everybody to the Father. And the Father, the Holy Spirit, will teach you all things.
So as I move forward, do I need to say anything to her about, like, look, I may have put expectations on you before, I'm not going to do that, or do I just do it different?
Just start doing it, because she's so young, just start doing it differently. and then become that example. And then since she's so young, as you change, she will too.
Okay. That helps a lot. Thank you.
Well, I want to tell you this without, normally I don't even mention what we talk about in the men's forum and lady forum, but there was a young lady there last night. Her mother did that to her, put all these expectations on her when she was very little, and it nearly drove her crazy, and she didn't know, and it never worked. It didn't make her be what they said it was going to make her be, and she was miserable, and now she's letting go of all that teaching, and she's young too, and she's finally having a life, a real life. So don't put that on your daughter or yourself. You've been lied to by your mama, your daddy, the preacher, the teacher, the school, the education system. Everybody has lied to you. And if you look around, you'll see that their lives are not working, but they pass that lie on to you anyway.
Okay. So just
just
be okay with whatever it is.
But you don't want to fake it. You want to overcome the world by overcoming thoughts and feelings. And then you're going to be okay with whatever happens.
Well, I'm a woman, so it's going to be I got to really find that father to return to. And,
but
I know that there's not a man on earth.
It has nothing to do with being a woman or not. It has to do with the spirit. I wish you could have been in the women's forum last night. You would have seen what I'm talking about.
I'm telling you, sometimes I think about getting a plane ticket to come because I know I could really benefit from
the women are seeking the Father, and they have gone and forgiven. They're doing the silent prayer now, and they're really working on themselves. And they had the same question that the men be having in the men's forum, because it's the same thing. All human beings must be born of the Father. And when you're born of the Father, you start to overcome the world. And the world will not understand you. The world would think that you're thinking things because they're thinking it. They'll think that's what you're thinking. But you won't be thinking that. You won't be feeling that way. You'll be living a different life. But in their mind, it's the same thing that they're doing. That they're thinking, but you won't. You'll be free. And so you got to, are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
Yes, I started doing that. And I
you started this morning?
That I was doing it for a couple of weeks, and my discipline got in the way, and I fell off. But I understand that is not something that is worth it, because I'll just suffer and die if I don't stick with it.
Yeah, stay with it. Stay with it. Don't let anything or anyone or any situation get in the way of seeking the kingdom. Staying present. I don't care if the world talk about you or try to hurt you, lie on you, tell the truth, whatever. You stay present and let that, whatever's happening outside of you, let it happen. Whatever's happening in thoughts and emotion, relax and let that happen. And I'm telling you, life will happen for you, and it will be amazing. You'll be like, what the? And how about the rules? What type of rules you have for your daughter?
It's mainly just like, when I ask her to do something, I don't want her to, be like, well, can I just do this? She likes to try to negotiate everything, even if it's like a practical thing I'm trying to get us to do.
She's 6 years old.
Huh?
If you can, you can hear.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm playing. She's 6 years old.
She's 10.
She's 10 years old.
Yeah.
She's not interested in the things the way you are.
That's true.
And you're imposing your will on her, you're going to destroy her.
Yeah, that's what I absolutely want to stop doing. So I can see it's not the way.
Yeah, so when you stop doing it, meaning that you overcome it, she will too. Because the Spirit of the Father that's in you will work through you, and it will change her too, because she will see a different spirit in you. She will see love instead of anger.
So just give her the Father. As I seek the Father, He will provide me with His Spirit, which is unconditional love and patience, and it'll just all work out.
Absolutely. And
Okay.
but you got to stay present. Don't plan what you're going to say or what you're going to do in the next moment or anything. You stay present and deal with it right in the present, and you can't go wrong.
That makes so much sense. I really appreciate you talking to me.
You're welcome. Let me know how it goes.
I will. Thanks, Jesse.
And stay with the prayer no matter what. Stay with the prayer.
Yeah, that's how we actually get God's Spirit in us, right? Is making that room for Him to work.
You're welcoming. You're like giving up, and you're welcoming the truth to take over. You're inviting the truth to come in and take over. You're not fighting against it. You're not running away from it. When it tries to correct you, you don't run. You relax in it. You welcome it. That's what you do when you be still and know the Father.
All right. Yes, sir.
I wish you well. Let me know how it goes.
I will.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Amazing. Arlie from Michigan. Welcome to the show.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Oh, good. I've been having so much trouble. I got disconnected like 8 times, and now I'm sitting on the floor with my little short cord. I got a new government telephone. Anyway, hear what I say, girl. Keep away. Don't mess with Bill.
That's right. What's going
I'm
on?
calling you, Jesse, and thank you so much for getting to me. I was really losing faith here. I'm thinking, geez.
Speak up a little bit for me,
You don't
okay?
even, huh?
If you can, you can hear. Speak up a little bit.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Anyway, I'm having a very, very bad bout of anger lately, and I feel pretty justified about it.
And why do you feel justified about anger?
It just feels like, how can you not be angry?
But why do you feel justified with it?
I don't know how to put it into words. It's because everything that's, happening is, would make anybody angry.
What is good about anger?
Nothing, but I can't help it. It's just there.
Right. And that's true. You cannot help it. So if you can't help it, won't you just relax and realize it's not you, not your thoughts, and not your feelings, and let go so the light of the Father, God would, because it is evil. Anger is pure evil.
It is. I feel so angry, and it doesn't feel good, but at the same time, I'm like, it just feels like everybody that I've loved and I've shared myself with, and it just feels like they don't, they just don't get me. They don't understand me. They use me and take me for granted. And then I get mad about that.
Right, but don't get mad.
I'm trying.
Don't get mad. Be glad to see that, because the people that turn on you are the ones that you do help. The closest person to you is the one that's going to turn on you. But if you get mad, at them for turning on you, it means that you were trying to get something from them. And so it's your fault. It's not theirs. It's their fault that they're turning on you, because they were trying to get something from you too, pretending they care. And you're trying to get something.
My son slashed my tires. I have a sister that lives right next door to me that doesn't offer me a ride to the store.
Right, but don't be mad at them. They can't help it.
They can't?
No.
Okay.
Just like you can't help but be angry, they can't help it either.
How do I stop? I'm angry.
Are you doing the silent prayer?
No, I'm not.
Well, then suffer and die. What the?
And I'm older than dirt.
How old are you?
We talked about this before.
How old is you?
I'm 65.
You ain't that old.
time you told me I was older than dirt.
No, you're older than Israel.
Oh, Israel.
No.
Gotta love
Listen,
Israel.
because of time, God is not into age. He doesn't care about that. And the real you is not of any age at all. The fake you that lives on this earth has an age, but it's not even real unless you believe in it. So
That makes sense.
Yeah,
If I
so-
can wrap my head around it and put it into action.
you got to realize on earth, when you're living in your imagination and ego, it's all thoughts and ideas, which are all false identities and which are all lies. All
Okay,
thoughts.
so when
and-
everybody that I've ever known and loved points out every wrong thing, every shortcoming of mine, I should just let it go and not let it hurt my feelings and not get angry.
100%, but you're not going to be able to do that on your own because anger is a wicked spirit, it's evil.
Oh, it don't
But if
feel
you do
good
the
at all.
silent prayer, be still, let go, then the Father will work on your behalf because you are presenting unto Him a living sacrifice. You're presenting your body as a living sacrifice unto God, which is your reasonable service. You're giving it over to Him, your anger, your fears, your doubts, your worries, your loneliness, your jealousy, your envy, your strife, your revenge. You're giving that over to the Father as a living sacrifice, and He will take care of it.
Okay.
So don't be
Thank you.
feeling.
Thank you for answering my call. I went through heck. Trying to get to you. My phone kept disconnecting, and I'm like, oh my, maybe I'm just not supposed to talk to this.
But you got to do the silent prayer, though. Because it's a spiritual thing. There's nothing you can do about it but see
I
the
don't
help.
know how to do that.
Do you know how to go to the internet and get the silent prayer?
I can. I just got a new government phone, so I can probably try that now.
I'm gonna put you on hold, and Sean will tell you how to find it. Rebuildingtheman.com.
Yeah, thank you, Jesse.
Prayer.
You just comforted me, and thank you.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
for hearing
Let me
me
just tell you
out.
this real fast. The people who have turned on you like that, and you feel something about it, you can't believe they did it because you love them, you did for them. If you feel bad about them turning on you, you never loved them. It was all ego love, expecting them to treat you the way you treated them, right? And that's why you're getting mad.
Can you say that if I feel bad about them turning on me?
Yeah, then it wasn't love. But if you don't feel anything about it, but you understand and see why they are doing it, that's what love is. You will see they cannot help it. And what they are doing it to themselves. They're not doing it to you at all. It shows that they have no love and they can't see.
Well, for one example, and I'll make it short, but for instance, this sounds really stupid, but this is the frame of mind I'm in. I'm like, my grandson came home saying, so, are you my nigga? I don't use that word. I've always heard it's a bad word. And, but I hear it from black people all the time. So, yeah, I was kind of really pissed off about that.
You don't have a right. That's just a word.
Oh. Why can there be a double standard?
Because the world is evil. The human heart is evil. And that's why God tells you.
I just have to accept things for the way they are.
Exactly. And have no thoughts or feeling about it at all. They're evil. They can't help it. And you'll be fine. I got to run now, but don't hang up.
Honey. Thank you. Okay.
Don't hang up.
You.
I'm going to have Sean tell you how to.
So much.
You're welcome. I'm going to have Sean tell you how to go to rebuildingtheman.prayer. .com/prayer.
for being here for us all.
All right. So do the prayer. Don't have me to come to Michigan.
I just love you. You might have met your right woman if you come.
Amazing. Hold on, Arlene.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to have Sean tell you how to get the prayer.